The breakup between Grammy-winning singer Zach Bryan and influencer Brianna Chickenfry has become one of the most talked-about stories online, sparking debates about personal relationships, emotional boundaries, and the impact of public scrutiny. What started as a seemingly private split has turned into a public saga, with both sides sharing their experiences and close friends stepping in to show their support. Today, we're unpacking everything that's unfolded, from Brianna's emotional revelations to the diss track that's taken the internet by storm. Zach and Brianna's breakup was first announced 2 weeks ago, catching many fans by surprise. After over a year of dating, Zach deactivated his Instagram and later returned to confirm the news in a post. Brianna, however, said she was blindsided by the announcement. She shared her side of the story in a YouTube video, appearing visibly emotional as she recounted the abrupt end to their relationship.
I'm at the point where it's like, how can you give someone everything and love them so unconditionally, through stuff that you shouldn't, because you just love them and you want them, you see the good in them. How can you give every ounce of yourself to someone and then be discarded of in a few days? It's really heartbreaking.
She described feeling discarded despite giving her all to the relationship. Fighting back tears, she said, "How can you give someone everything, love them unconditionally, and then feel discarded in just a few days?" Her candid emotions resonated with fans, many of whom expressed sympathy for her heartbreak. However, what seemed like a typical breakup quickly became more complex as more details about their relationship emerged. Fans started scrutinizing Zach's past relationships, noting a pattern in how his relationships typically unfolded. Before dating Brianna, Zach was married to a woman named Rose. They wed in 2020 but divorced after about a year. After Rose, Zach dated another woman named Deb for over a year before their breakup in May 2023. He began dating Brianna shortly after that. Fans pointed out a repeating cycle. Zach would get a dog, buy a house with his partner, and the relationship would end after about a year. While this observation might seem trivial, it became part of a larger conversation about Zach's approach to relationships and the emotional fallout for those involved. Throughout their relationship, Brianna and Zach navigated public controversies together. Zach often found himself under fire for his tweets, which led to temporary social media deactivations and public apologies. Meanwhile, Brianna faced backlash for her podcast comments and perceived distance from her co-host, Grace. Fans speculated that Zach had come between Brianna and her longtime friend, especially when Brianna missed Grace's birthday celebration and didn't post about it online. Brianna later addressed the speculation, saying she wished Grace a happy birthday privately, but was going through a tough time and needed to set boundaries. Despite her explanation, Grace eventually acknowledged that their friendship had been strained, hinting that Zach may have played a role. In a heartfelt post, Grace asked fans to give Brianna the space and time to heal, acknowledging the challenges they'd faced in their friendship over the past year. This added to the narrative that Zach had affected not only Brianna's romantic relationship, but also her personal connections with those closest to her. One of the most vocal critics of Zach post-breakup has been Dave Portnoy, who openly stated that he was never a fan of Zach. During a podcast, Dave shared that he'd always found Zach's vibe uncomfortable, describing him as someone he couldn't warm up to.
I was never a liker. How do you like that? I was never a liker. I think he's a fraud. I every time I met him, I was not comfortable with him. Use certain guys where you're like, okay, I kind of like this guy. He's a good vibe guy. This guy never gave that vibe to me.
Dave's criticism didn't stop there. Along with Josh Richards, he released a diss track titled Smallest Man, which took direct shots at Zach, accusing him of being a liar, a cheater, and more. The song also referenced Zach's alleged role in the fallout between Brianna and Grace, as well as a bizarre incident involving Dave's dog, Peaches. According to Dave, Zach removed Peaches from a dressing room without explanation during a concert, which left Dave feeling upset and confused.
And Dave just throws in, he kicked Peaches out of the dressing room. I was like, wait, what the hell? As we're doing the end of the song.
Explain that.
We went to the concert and it was, I think, Boston's birthday. You had never met Peaches. So I'm like, can I bring Peaches? Yeah, let's have the dogs meet, all this stuff. Boston and Jack are in there. It's a birthday party. I brought little hats. I brought little cakes for the dogs. But
so cute.
During the concert, you go in and out. So Peaches is in the dressing room. I'm walking back and forth to make sure she's okay. I walked in back to check on her, and he's just bringing her to this little band dressing room. And he's kind of like, oh, I hope you don't mind. I'm just moving Peaches. What am I going to say? I'm like, okay. But I have no idea to this day why he wants to get Peaches out of that locker room and why, the other locker room was actually sort of dangerous for her. I don't know why he did that, but it pissed me off greatly in the moment.
The diss track quickly went viral, with fans praising Dave and Josh for their humor and loyalty to Brianna. Some lines like, "You say you remember everything? I guess not because you forgot about your wedding ring," directly referenced Zach's personal life and music, adding an extra layer of sting to the song. While some questioned the appropriateness of releasing a diss track, many fans saw it as a lighthearted way for Brianna's friends to support her during a difficult time. However, the drama didn't end there. Brianna revealed revealed that she was offered $12 million to sign an NDA and stay silent about her relationship with Zach.
Basically, I would have gotten the money over the course of 3 years. I would have had to sign all of my experiences, everything that I am, away to this person. They would have been monitoring everything that I do. And at the end of the 3 years, I'll receive like that big lump sum of money, like throughout the years. I thought about it for a second, and I think they tend to forget, I started to forget, that I was established, I was successful before him. I'm gonna be someone, I'm gonna be established, I'm gonna be successful after him. And I don't want blood money. And I don't think you can pay people off that you hurt for them to protect you.
She declined the offer, saying she didn't want blood money and felt it was important to share her story. Vanna emphasized that she had her own success and didn't need to accept money to protect someone who had hurt her. I was someone before him, and I'll be someone after him, she said, standing firm in her decision. The $12 million offer, which included additional incentives like a house and an apartment, was framed as a way for Zach's team to maintain control over the narrative. However, Vanna felt it was another attempt to silence her and erase her experiences. Her refusal to accept the payout has been widely praised by fans, who see her as courageous for choosing authenticity over financial gain. In a candid moment on the BFFs podcast, Vanna opened up further about the emotional abuse she endured during the relationship. She described walking on eggshells and constantly worrying about Zach's reactions to her actions. She also revealed that he had tried to persuade her to quit her job, offering to pay her more than her employer so she wouldn't work. Vanna expressed frustration at how her sacrifices for the relationship were met with criticism and control, saying, "Everything I did, I had to think, is Zach going to be mad?"
I lost myself. Like everything I did in the back of my head, I had, is Zach going to be mad?
Right.
Is there going to be a reaction to this? Like, I have to make sure everything I do isn't going to cause eggshells, like eggshells.
And I didn't know this. When we negotiated your last, and this is all I found out post, when we negotiated like your renewal, that he wanted to pay you more than we were going to pay you, just not to work.
Yeah, he offered to double what you offered me so that I would quit. I love my job. I love what I do. I love who I am. Like, you're not gonna take everything away from me.
One particularly shocking anecdote involved the Golden Globes. Vanna shared that Zach didn't approve of the dress she wore to the event and unfollowed her on Instagram as a result. Despite posting a public compliment about her on his story, he reportedly criticized her behind the scenes, ruining what should have been a celebratory moment. This pattern of behavior, where private criticism clashed with public appearances, became a recurring theme in their relationship.
That was the first time like he had really tried to control what I wore or like what I posted. So I went to the Golden Globes and I posted like a carousel of pictures, and he didn't like my dress. He said he didn't want to like date someone that like presents themselves that way. And he unfollowed me. He unfollowed everyone. And when I flew home, I flew home after the Golden Globes, he ruined my night. Everything good, anything good I did for me, he made sure to ruin it for me. Cherry on the top of all of that was he reposted that picture of me on his story and was like, "You are so beautiful."
While freaking out behind the scenes.
While freaking out behind the scenes and unfollowing all of us and unfollowing me.
Vanna also recounted an incident at her birthday celebration where Zach allegedly insulted her friends, creating tension among the group. She described waking up to find her friends in tears and her aunt trying to mediate the situation. While there are recordings of this event, Vanna has said she doesn't plan to release them as they're too personal and embarrassing for her.
For my birthday, Zach got a house for like my family and I and all my friends in New Hampshire. He just starts doing what he does, like throwing jabs, and I'm like throwing jabs at my friends and like calling people idiots, and like I'm like, okay, it's 11:30, I'm gonna go to bed. He doesn't follow me. I go upstairs, I go to sleep, and I wake up like probably an hour and a half later to like screaming. It's like all my girlfriends crying, and they're all like in it. So I'm like, what the happened? What's going on? And then I look outside and I have my aunt like trying to control Zach. There's a recording of all of this that can never be out. Basically, Zach we're all hanging around the fire, and I guess he stood up at the fire and just starts screaming at my friends, "You're not going to be anything. You're loser," like just crazy out of nowhere.
Despite the heavy nature of these revelations, Vanna has tried to focus on moving forward. She posted on TikTok, sharing clips from her personal diaries during the relationship and expressing her determination to grow from the experience. She apologized to those she felt she had let down and offered support to others who might be going through similar struggles. Fans have largely rallied around Vanna, commending her bravery and resilience. Many have also praised Dave and Josh for their unwavering support, with the diss track serving as a humorous yet impactful show of solidarity. While the public has been critical of Zach, it's worth noting that these stories represent one side of the situation. Relationships are complex, and it's possible that there are misunderstandings and nuances that aren't fully visible from the outside. At the end of the day, this breakup has highlighted important conversations about emotional abuse, personal boundaries, and the challenges of navigating relationships in the public eye. Whether or not Zach chooses to respond to the allegations, it's clear that Brianna is committed to sharing her truth and reclaiming her narrative. So, what do you think? Do you believe Brianna's decision to speak out was the right one, or do you think there's more to the story? How do you feel about the diss track and the public nature of this breakup? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.